Hey Wargamers, today I want to talk about our favorite Tau troop transport, the Devilfish. Before I do that though, I want to say thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell buttons. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming unit reviews, battle reports, or hobby videos for 8th edition. Alright, so let's get started. I have INDEX XENOS 2 here, and in INDEX XENOS 2, the Devilfish is generally much better than it was in the past. In the past, Devilfish were just too expensive to really warrant their use, but now, even though they're more expensive than they were, they're that much better that makes them actually pretty good. They're an asset to your army and not a liability, which is nice. Basically, they have scaling, movement, ballistic skill, and attacks. Not that we care about the attacks, but 6 up weapon skill, 6 strength, 7 toughness, 12 wounds, leadership 8 with a 3 up save. So pretty typical transport stat line there. They move 12 at full health, hit on 4s at full health, and then have 3 attacks. So a lot of the strategies that you're going to use this Devilfish for are going to rely on that stat line as it is at the beginning. It's going to lose a lot of its value as soon as it starts taking more than half of its wounds. So keep that in mind. It comes standard with a burst cannon and 2 gun drones. So that's a total of 8 burst shots, or 12 pulse rounds being shot out of this guy at once, which is a respectable number of shots. It's not bad for a transport. And you basically have 2 options as far as the equipment that you take on the Devilfish. You can either upgrade those gun drones to smart missile systems, or leave them as gun drones. And I would not do that. Smart missile systems are really expensive and they don't give you that much more benefit. So I think it's better to just stick with the gun drones here than deal with anything else. For a couple reasons. One is that cost that I just mentioned, but also gun drones are just really good. So if you want to keep those gun drones around, you can detach them. They can go and do gun drone things, and you don't have to worry about them. They can take objectives. They can benefit from a fire blades ability. They can get a lot more shots, all sorts of things. They're just all around a better, more solid and versatile choice than smart missile systems. So there's that. The other option that you have is to take seeker missiles, and if you've watched my other reviews, you know that I think seeker missiles are a really good investment in terms of their bang for their buck. They're just a few points and they can almost give you a mortal wound every time, which is pretty good, especially if you have marker light support. In fact, only if you have marker light support are seeker missiles good. So you got to make sure that you have that. If you don't have a lot of marker lights in your army, maybe not put the points into seeker missiles. Or if you're tight on points anyway, seeker missiles are kind of a luxury, so you don't need to take them by any means. It has a series of abilities that are pretty standard for a hover tank or transport. It's a hover tank. It explodes. It has savior protocols, attached drones, and threat identification protocols, just like everything else that has drones and hovers. So those are pretty standard. The thing that makes Devilfish different in terms of their abilities is the turret mounting ability. So you can take a recon drone and mount it on the Devilfish. That's the special drone, that big, large drone that comes with Pathfinders. You can take that recon drone and put it in the Devilfish, and it makes all of the Devilfish's attacks ignore cover. And the reason why this is valuable is because things like Marines or Necrons that are in cover are getting a 2-up save, which is crazy. It's a 2-up save, and you're not going to be able to dislodge that very easily using normal pulse rounds. So having that -1 or that ignores cover ability is actually really useful. And this is another reason why I would say don't take smart missile systems, because you could just take a recon drone instead and get the benefit of ignores cover. So there's that. It actually doubles the number of wounds that you're going to be doing to Marines in cover compared to not having it. So it's an appreciable increase in output. Now, when do you actually want to use a Devilfish? Well, a lot of the tactics that you use with the Devilfish are going to be standard for any type of transport. You can do all sorts of cool stuff with boxing and maneuvering and board control. You can do what we used to call rhino scoping, which is taking two transport to narrow the field of vision for a unit so that they can only see a character. That's a way to avoid having to shoot at other units first. Is if you just can see the one guy, then that's who you have to shoot at, and that's it. So you could do that with Devilfish, but it's an expensive trick that really isn't worth it in most cases. Really, the time that you want to use Devilfish is with breachers. Breachers require the transport. They need to have that mobility in order to be effective, and so if you take breachers, they have to go into Devilfish, hands down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They need to go into Devilfish. Now, you could take Devilfish with Pathfinders or with Fire Warriors as well, but really those units are going to be better off just shooting an extra round. I'm not willing to give up a round of Fire Warrior shooting just to have them move. They can move normally and advance, and if there's an ethereal nearby, they can re-roll that. So they can actually have a fair amount of mobility on their own and don't really require a Devilfish in order to be functional on the board. And really, we don't want them to be locked up in a transport. We want them shooting. So that's why I would say Devilfishes are much better, but you really only need to use them with breachers. Other units are not going to benefit as much from them. So do I think Devilfish are good? Yes. Do I think you're going to see them in every army? No. Like I said, you're only going to see them in limited situations. That said, if you do want to use them, go for it. They're a good investment and they can do a lot of work for you. So that's that. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and of course, happy wargaming.